as students of grade 4. We are still continuing our lesson on positive and negative numbers. Today we will continue by looking at how we can do addition and subtraction when we have positive numbers or we have negative numbers. So there are 4 main rules that we have to follow when it comes to dealing with positive or negative numbers. The rules are that whenever a positive number is meeting a positive number, the possibility of the results becoming positive is so high. There's nothing different than that. That positive and positive will give you a positive sign. Okay? The second rule is that when a positive sign or a positive number meets a negative number, the possibility of having a negative sign is also very high. So positive and negative will give you negative. The same way, a negative sign and a positive sign will also give you a negative sign. The fourth rule is that whenever 2 negatives come together, they tend to become positive. So 2 negative signs come together by addition or by subtraction is going to change to become a positive sign for you. So these are the 4 examples that we can relate them to the rules that we have over there. Okay, so let's go through our examples so that we'll know how the rules apply when you have real figures that you are dealing with. Now we have 6, which is a positive number, and then we have 2, that is a positive number. So the 2 are coming together in a form of addition. So positive and positive here, which is this positive and this positive, will give us positive here. So we're going to have 8. Okay? So we'll have 8, that becomes a positive figure because our positive here and positive here is giving us a positive. So our 8 becomes a positive figure. The second rule says that when a negative and positive comes together, it should give you a negative. So with this expression, how do you identify that it's supposed to give you a negative expression here? Okay, so the rule is that negative and positive comes together, it gives you negative. So it makes this your negative sign and your plus here goes together like this and then gives you a negative sign. Okay? So instead of thinking of 3 plus 8, it rather becomes 3 minus 8. Okay? So 3 minus 8, and that is going to give us 5. Okay, so the sign will change up here and then we have minus, and that is the sign that we have over here. Now we have minus and positive giving minus. Okay, so we have this minus and then we have this positive here. So what is the deal here? The deal is that this plus and this minus are going to turn into a negative sign. Okay, so your minus here and your plus here will tend to be a negative sign. So we'll have this equation as equal as having 4 minus 9. Okay? So the same way we can write that 4 plus 9 is the same as writing 4 minus 9. Okay? So our answer is going to be negative 5. Because 9 is carrying the minus sign. So when you bring the equation here, it means 9 should also carry your minus sign, and then that will give you a negative 5 because 9 is bigger than your 4. So after paying your 4, you still have 5 left that you have to pay. Now let's look at our fourth rule. The fourth rule says that negative and negative comes together, it gives you a positive sign. So we have a negative here and we have a negative here. So these 2 signs will give us a positive sign here. So instead of thinking of minus minus here, our equation becomes 7 plus 4. So you see the negative here and the negative here has changed to become a positive sign here. And that is what the rule is saying. Minus coming together with a minus should give you a positive sign. So we have 7 plus 4, and that will give us 11. So we have 11 here. Using these rules, this is how you can use to do your addition and subtraction of your figures. Okay, so on this section we will move to our first task. We're going to use a greater than or less than or equal to sign to complete the exercises that I'll post to you on Telegram for you to use these signs to complete them. Okay, so you have this exercise through the group which I'm going to send to you to do the exercise for us. On this note, we will close for our first session and then we'll meet on our second session. So see you in the second video. Welcome back to the second video on our lesson, positive and negative numbers, from page 44, unit 7 of your textbook. Today we looked at 4 main rules that applies when you are dealing with negative and positive numbers, with examples that we have shown on our whiteboard here. The first rule is that when a positive and a negative comes together, you get positive. Okay, so when a positive and a positive comes together, you get a positive. When a positive and a negative comes together, you also get a negative, and a negative and positive interchangeably also comes together, you also get a negative sign. The last rule is that when a negative and a negative comes together on the same location, it tends to become a positive, and that is what is shown here. So we have a negative and a negative that comes together, and you have a positive sign. These are the examples that we have in correlation with our rules. So we have a positive here and a positive here that are coming together, so that gives us a positive. So which means we have to add 6 and 2 to get 8. On our second rule, a positive and a negative are coming together. So this is the positive and this is the negative. It tends to be negative here, so which means we have to subtract a 3 from our 8, and that gives us 5. The third rule says that a negative and a positive coming together should give us a negative. So we have our negative here, which is a negative 9, and coming to have negative 4. So which means this equation will turn other way around, and then we're going to have a minus here because negative and positive coming together should give us a minus. So instead of minus 9 plus 4, we'll have 4 minus 9, and that is going to give us a negative sign of negative 5. Our negative and negative coming together should tend to be positive. So we have 7 minus negative 4. So this negative and the minus attached to the 4 will tend to be plus, which is positive. So our equation will now change to become 7 plus 4. And we will have our answer to be 11. So this is how you can use the rules to deal with equations when you are dealing with positive and negative numbers. We will move to our second task, which is task 2 for this particular lesson on negative and positive numbers. We're going to apply these rules in equations that I'm going to send to you through the Telegram group for you to use your knowledge on the rules that you have when negative and positive comes together to find answers to those equations that I'm going to post to you. Okay, so please use the rules to solve those equations. Thank you. I'll see you in our final video. I hope our lesson has gone very well with you. You have enjoyed our first and second sections. And on this last section, the review is on our rules, because the rules are very important. You always have to remember the rules. Without the rules, it's always going to be difficult for you to solve your equations when you are dealing with positive and negative numbers. So, rule 1, positive and positive will give you positive. Rule 2, positive and negative will give you a negative. Rule 3, negative and positive will give you a negative. The final rule, which is rule 4, is negative and negative will change to become a positive sign for you. Okay, so you always try to remember this one. To keep you on track so that you don't forget your positive and negative signs, there is a homework for you that you have to complete and send before our next lesson. So we are still going to use our rules to do this homework, and then make sure you send before our next lesson so that I would be confident that you have really understood positive and negative numbers. I'll see you in our next class.